How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome back to Path of Exile. This is going to be a video, if I could not stutter over my fucking words, on weapon crafting. In the previous episode, which was a little while ago now, I did armor crafting, I do believe, and I crafted chest pieces up for you. I wanted to do this a little while ago, but my passion for Path of Exile has been kind of falling out, sorta, but I still want to be able to put out content for you guys, and these sorts of crafting videos are very easy to do, and rather easy to explain for me. So yeah, we're going to dive into crafting weapons today. I don't have any elder weaponry here. I will explain how to go about doing that sort of thing, however, with some of the stuff in my stash. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to craft two-handed weaponry for melee characters, even though melee is currently nerfed to shit, but, you know, for the future it could still be useful. How to craft spell damage wands. The same thing will apply to spell damage staves and whatnot. How to craft +1 and +2 or +3 bows. For those of you who play skills like Caustic Arrow, which I have played a Caustic Arrow Deadeye, if you want to see a build that will use these weapons here. And then a physical damage bow, which would be pretty similar to the two-handed style of crafting. But I still wanted to cover it anyways. There will be a few other things that I talk about as we go about this sort of thing, but just kind of buckle in, and the video is probably going to be kind of long. There was someone one of the other days who was like, is there any TLDR version on crafting? Because I don't want to watch like a 50-minute video. And I'm like, mate, welcome to Path of Exile. This is what you're in for. So, I don't know how long this is going to be. I got a coffee with me. We're going to roll through things, quite literally, and see if we come up with anything good on the other side. Now, in the first episode, I covered the basics of crafting, but essentially, it's rather simple. You throw an orb of transmutation on an item. That's really fucking good, but that's alright. And to start off, you have a prefix and a suffix. Very simple so far. Each item, for two-handed items and that sort of stuff, can have up to 3 prefix and 3 suffix. The only thing that changes is, I believe, belts are different. I'm pretty sure they can only have 2 and 2. Not entirely sure about that. But everything else can have 3 prefix and 3 suffix. When you make an item blue, like so with transmutation orbs, they can only roll 1 of each. 1 prefix and 1 suffix. Now I have to cover this because this is actually going to be important in regards to rolling a +2 or +3 bow. That is very, very important. So that means that when you're re-rolling with Orbs of Alteration for a blue item, you can only ever hit one suffix or 1 prefix. So that means there's a lot of different ways to go about crafting good weapons, because as opposed to good armor, where your rolls are in 2 different spots, right? You want prefix life, suffix resist with blue armor, and then you regal it, and then you exalt on top of that, or craft on top of that, and you've got your decent base. With weaponry, you can kind of do the same thing, and I will show you how to go about creating good weapons with that sort of style. But alternatively, there's a different way to do things, which is just kind of chaos YOLO spamming, or using fossils is also a very good way to go about things. Because a lot of what you want to hit on weaponry is prefix based, especially with two-handed weapons. Because what you're going to want to look for is increased % physical, right? Added physical as high as possible, and then hybrid physical, which will be more phys damage and an accuracy roll, I believe, something like that. So that is the main sort of thing we're going to be looking for in regards to crafting a two-handed weapon. And since those are the major things you're looking for, it gets kind of difficult when you're only rolling, you know, 1 prefix, right? Crafting weapons that have the 3 prefix you want is rather difficult. I mean, it's manageable because you can alteration it, then you regal it, you somehow hit the prefix you want, and then you craft on the 3rd one. I mean, you could be in the money there, right? But that's extremely rare. So when it comes to rolling two-handed weapons and whatnot, it's kind of better to alch and then chaos roll it, or to use fossils or essences to try and guarantee something. But with that being said, I am going to start off doing some alteration rolling to see if I can get anything really good. This isn't bad. If I want to really cement in a roll of something to regal up, I'm going to aim for tier 1 to tier 3 fizz damage-ish, I would say. Or in the same vein, added fizz. Even hybrid fizz isn't bad, but I wouldn't regal on hybrid personally, because you can craft like main fizz, but you can also craft hybrid with betrayal stuff. so I wouldn't personally regal on hybrid. Now for suffixes, you're going to want to aim for attack speed. Keep in mind, we are going for the ultimate of penultimate items if we can, considering I have a lot of currency donated from my viewership because you guys are the best. So we're going to aim for fizz damage and attack speed if possible. If we don't manage it, then that's kind of how it goes. 80%, that's the same as we had before. And accuracy, that hit attack speed, that might not have been too bad actually. There's hybrid right there, that's the roll we're looking for, but higher of course, if possible. And we're going to keep rolling away. I know some people like crit chance weapons, so I mean, you can opt for crit chance. If you're going to do that, there are certain bases. We're on a Volax right now. There are certain bases that will align yourself more to a critical strike, such as a Talon Axe or just swords in general. There's tier 4 added fizz, that's not bad. And strength suffix, not bad, not great. You're trying to get that physical damage as high as possible. This isn't really that bad if you want to get like a starter weapon. You could regal this and then craft added fizz on it. Not added fizz, percent fizz, sorry. That would turn out pretty good as like a starter type weapon. Make sure you have 20 quality'd it, by the way. That increases your fizz damage baseline. So for this weapon, I'll show you what it looks like with a good regal. Well, with a shitty regal. But we have tier 4 added fizz, and then we are going to craft on 4 chaos, physical right there. We've hit the lowest roll possible, and we have a 206 to 344 weapon. And that is a very bare bones axe. You can roll attack speed, you can get hybrid, you see what I mean, right? That's kind of what you go about doing if you're going to transmute alt roll a weapon, in regards to two-handers anyways. This gets a little more value when you're going for wands and like staffs and whatnot, because you're going to look for spell damage and stuff, which you only really need the one spell damage roll as like the main thing. So doing this sort of style of fishing is a lot more efficient on wands and spell casting and whatnot. So this is a rather decent starting point, nothing really spectacular. You can upgrade over top of this, of course, and now I'm going to show you how to go about doing that. You can go this route, and it will yield you pretty decent stuff so long as you have the currency to do an extra craft on top of it. That took not much, really, and I would probably use this for quite a while with a second backup weapon. Of course, do factor in links and all this sorts of things, right? But yeah, so that's a basic start in regards to transmute alteration. The next step I'm going to be going about is just chaos spamming, because if you chaos spam, you can hit 6 suffixes potentially per reroll, which is great because when you regal an item, you will only have a maximum of 3. You'll have like a prefix, your prefix, suffix, and then whatever it adds on, right? It's pretty simple. That does open up spots for you to exalt the item as well. So if I wanted to, because this has 2 open prefixes, I could get rid of the craft and then craft a suffix and then slam twice for what is it? To try and get double prefix on here. Now that's a little bit more in depth, but I think I'll show you. Why not? I have currency to burn. So essentially, what you can go about doing, I'm going to show you how to suffix block. This was something I showed to one of my moderators and I blew their mind. Essentially, exalted orbs, very simple, right? They will add on a new random modifier onto a weapon. Now, what if you want to search for a specific thing? I mean, it's a little more difficult, but it is possible to do. So in our case, we have a weapon with prefix physical damage, crafted prefix physical damage, and then suffix strength, suffix mana gained on kill. Now, if I were to slam it as is, there's a chance I hit a prefix, there's a chance I hit a suffix. Now, I can hit anything in the pool, so it could be bad, it could be good, it could be whatever, really. But what you can do is, in this scenario, you can guarantee that you can hit a prefix. You can do this the exact same opposite way, depending on the item you're looking for, right? So in our case, what I would go about doing is get rid of the physical craft on here, and I would put on a suffix craft instead. Doesn't matter what it is, it could be anything. In our case, we're going to put attack speed, because why not? Maybe it'll be useful later on. Replace that, and as you see, you know, damage goes down and that sort of thing. But now if we hold Alt, you'll see 3 suffix, right? Which now means it's at its suffix cap, which very simply has blocked off the chance that when you exalt the item, that you hit suffix at all. So now, if I exalt this, I will guaranteed get 2 prefixes on the next rolls. Now, there's no guarantee they're good, right? I have to preface that. There's no guarantee I managed to get hybrid and normal fizz. It's very, very low chance. We've seen what's happened in the series before, so I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I am going to say it's very, very rare. But let's double slam it. That's pretty meh. And that's also pretty meh. We got double tier 3 of lightning and fire. And as you can see, sometimes things don't end well. But, you know, you do get the double prefix there. So if you want to go for some endgame style crafts, that is a tactic to go about doing that. You can do that cheaply on the bench, of course. Well, not so much cheaply if you're going to use 2x to make something. But still, I wanted to showcase that tactic because it is very, very useful. Now, with that being said, let's chaos spam this and see if we can hit any sort of decent setup. Now, in regards to this, I'm probably only going to use, I want to keep it kind of on a budget to make a decent weapon. So let's use like 20 and see what we end up at. That's because at 20, you could probably just buy a weapon. So, this is more for showcase than anything, but still. We are going to be looking for 2 fizz rolls and an attack speed roll would be godly, because then we can craft on the extra fizz, right? If you get any of the 3 fizz rolls, if you get any 2 of them, right, you can craft on the extra one, which is exceptional for us. So we are going to chaos away, see if we get anything good, keep an eye out for physical and attack speed, socketed melee gems, and physical. Not bad if that's what you're looking for, depends on the skill you're playing. I may stop there, that's pretty terrible. That has Ellie with attacks, which isn't bad, it is a prefix. Tier 1 Ellie with attacks, actually. However, is it tier 1? Tier 3, sorry. However, for weaponry, it's better to just have a giant fizz base than Ellie with attacks, in my opinion, personally. Tier 8 fizz to attacks, not really grand. There is tier 8 fizz with tier 2 attack speed. That's not horrible, but it does have a second prefix. You could try and craft on that, but really, it's debatable. If you craft a good added fizz on there, you could maybe get a 300 weapon with good attack speed. Not saying entirely bad, but could be better. Decent stop if you're hunting for that sort of thing. Higher fizz, that's pretty good. That's pretty trash. That's tier 6 with bleeding. Could craft added fizz prefix on there and get very, very high damage. Let's see what mine would look like. Bam. 321, that's not bad. Doesn't beat out our previous weapon, but not bad in the slightest. And bleeding duration, damage with bleeding. If you're playing a bleed build, if you're playing Bleed Slayer or something, I know that's pretty niche right now because Slayer got nuked hard, but you can see what I'm kind of aiming for here. That's also a pretty decent weapon in regards to things. Let's keep going, see if we can get anything good here. Attack speed and tier 1 cold damage. Tier 1 elemental and stuff on these sorts of weapons aren't really that great in my experience. Tier 1, tier 2 here, I guess. Maybe you could do something with that, but not really. There's tier 1 physical damage with extra roll, life gain on kill, crit multi, accuracy. This could be better, but that tier 1 added fizz means that we can craft on. Good ol', there we are. There's a big ol' heifer. That's wonderful. 230 to 403 axe. Because we chaos spammed on my last point, actually. On my last chaos orb. We hit tier 1 fizz to attacks, which is exceptional. Now you could divine as well to try and get that even higher if you wanted to. Actually, I fucking will. Hang on. You can get this shit higher. Let's go for 99 as a craft if I can. Replace 84. 93. Do I want to go all in? Let's go for it. 99. There we go. And then, do I have any divine orbs? 31 is not bad. 62 is kind of mid-roll. So let's go for a divine and let's hit it. 63. We're aiming for 68. 34 to 68. Not bad. 35 to 66. It's also not bad. Damage has gone up. And I think we're probably going to leave it there. That's a 243 to 420 axe. Sadly doesn't have attack speed. And of course is missing the hybrid. If you were going to go and create a god roll weapon, then that would be something you want to aim for. But for a standard DPS piece like this, something to kind of tie you over and settle in on your character, that is all in all pretty good, in my opinion anyways. And that's why chaos spamming is oftentimes better when trying to create a big two-handed weapon, because you're rolling through 3 prefixes at a time and 3 suffixes at a time, right? So there's a higher chance, and you'll come across things faster in regards to getting good rolls, right? All in all, this sort of weapon could have also been attained if you were doing alteration spamming as well, because we would have hit tier 1 fizz with whatever else, and then you craft on the added fizz. So either option works, it just depends. I find that chaos spamming can get me a lot of good stuff on two-handed weaponry, but both options are viable, and both options can yield very good weapons, as we saw beforehand, and as we see with this very hefty weapon right here. That was made on 20C worth of rolls. Whether or not it's worth 20C is up to you. For an SSF perspective, that would be very, very nice for a 20C return in my book anyways. Alright, so that's two-handed axes. That's pretty much the same in regards to two-handed swords, two-handed maces, and that sort of thing. If you're going to go about making an elder weapon, I do want to cover this very quickly, an elder or shaper weapon, I recommend elder personally. Allow me to show you why. There are some pretty insane things you can get in regards to elder weaponry, such as this of shaping mod, which is a chance, attack speed and chance to deal double damage. That is a suffix. You can also get attack speed on top of that, if I'm entirely correct. I'm not entirely sure on that one. I believe you can, which would make an insane item, right? You see where elder weaponry gets in. I didn't want to go and do way too many rolls and that sort of stuff, but you can get things like that. You can also get suffix onslaught on kill, if you're looking for that as well. That's on shaper, and that is on shaper right there. In regards to elder weaponry, I do believe, I think I have an axe in here somewhere that I want to showcase. I need to find the damn thing. This is the problem with standard stashes, right? There's way too much stuff. Ah, it's a shaper weapon. Okay. Aim for shaper in regards to two-handed weaponry. Seems to be better. Yeah, that's just the same thing. That's shaping. But yeah, so if you're going to aim for elder or shaper, shaper isn't bad in regards to these sorts of things. However, keep in mind it will limit your mod pool, kind of, I guess. But you have a chance of hitting attack speed and deal double damage, and a chance of hitting normal attack speed. This method would be better for chaos spamming, because there could be the chance you hit both. Again, don't quote me on that. If it's not possible, then someone will rip me out in the comment section. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, so that's where chaos spamming would come in more handy. Okay, now let's move over to the spellcaster style of side, shall we? This is a sword that is, yeah, whatever, that can go fucking over there. We're gonna throw this right in the center here, and we can craft on this now. So essentially, in regards to wands, you're gonna want to try and get as high of an implicit as possible. So we want to go for 40%. So we're just going to blessed orbit until it says 40, like so. Doesn't really matter about quality and that sort of stuff. I haven't really played any characters who need a physical wand personally, but you can get some pretty high physical wands if you're playing a build based around that. But in regards to crafting wands and whatnot, it's very easy to go about crafting a very high damage wand very, very easily. And for those of you wondering about fossils and essences and that sort of stuff, I will be covering that at the end. I want to go through the basics of crafting stuff, and then we will cover some fossil stuff at the end. I believe I have fossils to make hopefully decent two-handers and whatnot, but it's pretty much the same as chaos. You just throw it in and pray. But yeah, we'll get to that in due time. Either way, in regards to making a wand, Alk chaos spamming is of course not bad, but you are kind of fishing for two main roles. Well, one main role if I'm being entirely honest. You're going to be fishing for spell damage. You can also hit hybrid spell damage. That is possible as well, but there's no tri-roll like with two-handed weapons, or this also applies to one-handed weapons. They can also roll the tri-roll perfecta of fizz. In regards to wands, however, you can only get spell damage and then hybrid spell damage, both of which are prefixes. So if you're transmute alting and you hit tier 1 of either, I would say go for just raw spell damage, because it goes higher if you roll it manually than if you craft it on. Then you can get some insane results, because you can craft a hybrid if you get the betrayal craft, which I don't think I have right now. I'm not entirely sure. but you can end up with some pretty insane wands very, very easily. You can also essence a wand. There's a lot of spell damage essences that will do you well, and you know, probably fossils as well. For suffix, you're going to want to look for a sort of god roll. Would be, I guess, if you don't have the Betrayal Craft, hybrid as a prefix, and then cast speed. Cast speed is a suffix that you're going to want to aim for. You can also potentially hit elemental as both prefix and suffix, so you can get like % lightning damage and % fire damage and that sort of stuff. So depending on the element you're playing, it's not bad either. Let's say for showcase, we're going to play fire, because I play a lot of fire builds. And let's see what we can kind of end up with. Quality doesn't matter, and if you're really trying to make a god roll thing, going for fire to spells as well is also exceptional. This tier 2 fire to spells isn't that bad if I was going to go about playing a fire character. I don't know that I would regal on this personally. It's not bad, but I would probably try and roll for spell damage personally and then try to craft fire to spells or hybrid on afterwards. Not bad, maybe regal potential here, depending how high your spell damage craft is. Keep in mind, the reason I say roll these sorts of crafts, or roll these sorts of things, is your tier 1 fizz damage can go up to like 150+% on good eye level weapons. That's just as a roll. Yeah, it's rare, don't get me wrong, but would you rather pay an X? Like, come on now. So that's a little bit about why I'm saying, you know, try and roll these things. Tier 2 here isn't bad. I may possibly regal on this, depending on what I was looking for. At the moment, I'm looking for good spell damage, so we're going to keep rolling. There's tier 7 spell. Getting good resist isn't bad either in regards to wands. There's tier 2 fire to spells again. And tier 1 chance to ignite. Honestly, that's regal worthy if you're playing an ignite fire to spells build. And then you craft. Here, I'll show you. Tier 3 mana, that's also not bad if you're playing ES. Because mana converts to ES in those certain specific builds. And then you can go about spell damage here. It may also depend on the spell, because for certain spells they may scale higher with like fire damage and whatnot. Most spells that I've experienced and played with scale better with spell damage. So in regards to that, that's not bad if I'm entirely honest. You have spell damage, you have fire to spells, you have chance to ignite. Not really something I would aim for personally. Also, the mana there is nice for ES characters. But maybe as an offhand wand, that would be okay, because that's 89% spell with added spells and ignite chance in ES. All in all, not bad. Not bad in the slightest, but I am going to aim a little higher than that and try and find good spell damage. 25% fire, suffix fire, this is big. If I hit tier 2 fire to spells, that's even better than what I had before. That's regal worthy right there. With tier 2 mana, that's nice for ES characters. God, I'm fucking wishing I had these in Solo Self-Found right now. You hit 54, 50, 90% spells, 90% spell damage, 25%, what is it? 25% fire damage, with very good fire to spells on the top there, which is also max roll. Oof, damn. Almost max roll fire damage, max roll mana, and not so much max roll spell damage, but all in all, that is a crisp wand. If we're playing a fire character, that is god tier. That is definitely like a main hand / offhand wand. Combine that, this is why wands are so much more powerful than staves right now. I mean, they have done some staff stuff to try and make it better, but essentially, you're able to use 2 of these, right? You're able to dual wield wands. This is only one of your 2 wands. Imagine you have a second one of these. This is 90% on one wand. You have 2 sticks with 180% combined, and then another 50% spell or fire damage because you have 2 sticks. It's a very powerful stick. Oh god, fucking comedy. I try my best sometimes, I promise. Alright, honestly, I almost want to keep that because I know someone's gonna want that. Yeah, you know, honestly, I'm gonna keep it like that. All of these I do give away on stream, by the way. If you see one of these items and you do want one, feel free to pop in. They may be taken, they may not be. So yeah. That's pretty good. Honestly, that's pretty good. I'm impressed with that. Now, ultimately, hybrid Hybrid is also decent if you get hybrid spell damage, because it gives you spell damage and mana, I think, which if you're playing an ES-based character, there's a node near Witch that makes mana convert to ES, or like max mana equals added ES. So that's why mana's good in regards to these sorts of things, because you're basically giving up having like an ES shield with spell damage on it as well, in regards to having a more powerful damaging wand. So that makes up a nice evening amount in a way. And all in all, I'd say that's pretty decent. Not really what I was aiming to create, but sometimes you create things that you aren't aiming for. And you look at it and you just go, well, that's pretty good, huh? And that's kind of where I would say with this. Because keep in mind, you can have 2 wands. Maybe you roll another wand that has really high spell damage, and you craft on added fire or something like that. And now you've got 2 very good wands, rather simply. Alright, so that is kind of how I go about creating spell damage wands. Or just wands in general for most casters. Going about doing staves, or staffs, whichever one you call it, if you're fucking English or whatever, I don't know. You can kind of do the same thing I did in regards to Volax, because you want to hunt down the same things. You want to get very good raw spell damage, and then try and hit hybrid, and then add it to spells. So chaos spamming there isn't bad. Or you can hunt for spell damage cast speed, like I tried to with this, and then regal on that. Pray you get something, and then craft hybrid or craft other stuff. Essences on spells, or on staffs, sorry, words are difficult, I find are very, very good. Let's see if I have a spell damage one in here. Do I? Lightning dispels, cold dispels. A lot of these essences aren't bad. They can give you like hefty damage, because you see the 2-handed roll, right? Adds a lot of damage in regards to that. I don't think I really have one for spells. Ah, there we go. This is what I'm talking about. In regards to 2-handed, you can just guaranteed right off just force 95 to 104. Now keep in mind, that's equivalent to the 1 wand I have here, right? You see by this why wands are better than staves, generally. Because that 2-handed roll there, unless you hit extra stuff on top of that, because this is just basically a chaos orb with a guaranteed roll, 2 wands can beat it out very, very easily. So essences are very good in regards to crafting spell damage stuff, personally, because you're only really aiming for the large spell damage roll, because everything else you can craft on. And hybrid's rare enough as is. If you manage a good if you manage a good staff, you can maybe get, say, 104 with 34 hybrid, 148 from a staff with cast speed. And then your double wands are over here like 180 at 2C a piece, you know, and that's what you end up with. There's some insane stuff you can buy in Trade League, man. It's wild. I looked the other day, there was an axe with 10% fizz to chaos and tier 1 fizz to attacks as like prefix suffix at 3 vol, and I was like, why am I playing solo self-found? But yeah, shop around for deals. That's the tip I've got for you in this video. But yeah, we're gonna go about making a +2 or +3 bow. I need to cover this. I need to preface this a lot. I don't really know the fossil gimmicks in regards to making like a +19 bow. I know some people have made +6s. It's literally possible. I don't know if that requires Elder or Shaper or whatnot. But we're gonna go about making a very, very simple, very effective caustic arrow style bow. Now, the reason people use these types of bows is there's certain skills that scale off of gem level as opposed to off of base physical damage. I'm going to make a physical bow as well with this Harbinger bow. But skills like Caustic Arrow, the higher the gem level, the more damage from their little caustic pool that they create. So you want to make items to socket these in. Sometimes it's a +2 tabula. I've managed a couple of those, you know, they're quite nice. Sometimes it's a +2 bow. Ultimately, if you get very, very lucky, you can get a +3 bow. That will cost you a fucking fortune sometimes, but that's not, that's how it goes. Some people, with regards to fossils and doing lots of multi-step processes, have made +6 bows. I don't know how to do that, so I'm going to be teaching you the kind of ghetto solution on how to make a +2 or +3. Now, it also depends on how much currency you have available. I, of course, have a lot, thanks to you fellas, because you guys are great, because you wanted me to make this type of series. So, for me, I can just spam until I hit +3, right? It's pretty obvious. Now, the one thing that I've figured out in regards to making a +1 or +2 bow is that the pluses to bows will appear a lot more often if you chaos spam, as opposed to transmute alteration. I burned through in solo self-found like 120 alts, and I didn't even see +1. Like, it was weird. I'll spam for you. But in regards to that, I found that they only really started appearing when I started doing chaos spamming. It was really weird. I believe there's also essences that you can do. I don't know if I have any here. Let me look for a gem here. There are some with +2 level of socketed fire gems. Fire gems isn't bad. That was +2. There's cold there. +1 level of bow gems. So now you see where things kind of start. You can throw this on and just risk it and see what you end up with. You can throw this on, and you can pray you annul everything off, and then multi-mod, and you can hit like this stupid level bow. What was it? There was a way beforehand where you could throw on an essence, then you could magically annul off everything else, and then you put on prefixes can't be changed, and then you just like re-roll the rest of the bow, and then you exalt, and pray you get something good. There was a lot of stupid ways to go about it, but I really don't know how to go about those, but these options are here if you want to just try and force one. A dread will give you +1, and RNG will give you +2, depending on scenario. So let's go about trying to create one of these, shall we? We're going to start off with Alt and Alt Transmute. It doesn't matter about the physical damage at all. Added fizz, that sort of stuff doesn't matter on these types of weaponry. If we're going to make a caustic arrow bow, which I'm going to make here, we're going to be aiming for chaos damage if we can find it. That's probably going to come from a craft. Chaos multi, or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know, it's a big name. It's like non-damage over time multiplier or some shit. We're just going to call it chaos multi. Aiming for that's pretty good as well. And of course, primarily we're going to be going for, what is it? Socketed gems. Reason it's on this base, a thicket bow or a crude bow works as well. This one's more optimal. Is since we're not going for a fizz base bow, right? We don't care about bow damage. Caustic arrow cares about gem level to get most of its damage. So the bow doesn't fucking matter at all. All that matters is chaos, damage over time, these sorts of multipliers. And coffee is very good. We want an attack speed base, right? So we can attack as many times as possible and put as many caustic arrows downrange as we can. So rolling attack speed is very good in regards to this sort of bow. There is an Elder or Shaper mod, I don't remember which one it is. It's one of the two that gives you attack speed and then attack speed when you hit a rare enemy, a rare unique enemy. I believe there's also a craft that procs that when a rare or unique enemy is around, which can give you more DPS on bosses. Of course, I don't have that because just buying these bases alone was like 10C a piece, and you know, I can only imagine what Elder versions are like. But yeah, let's spam away, see what we end up at. We don't really care about fizz. I mean, the poison is interesting depending on the build you're playing. If you're playing a Herald of Agony build, you might want to keep this. I don't know if that's global enough, or if that's global to affect Herald of Agony. I don't know. Someone will get me in the comments with that. Now, in regards to, that's interesting. I mean, obviously we don't care about fizz, but seeing those rules and it's like, why aren't you on this bow? But, you know, stun duration, remember to use augment orbs if you have an open slot, and make sure you actually click on the damn thing. Crit multi really wouldn't matter either. You're really just aiming for attack speed suffix. 88%, I mean, I'm not going to keep that, but yeah. I need to make sure I'm shift clicking these so I don't look like an absolute melon. You'll see there's not really much in the way of like plus to gems, right? Resists aren't bad either, because depending on the bow you're aiming for, you may just want a chaos damage craft and then plus the bows. So, oh shit, I just rolled over +2. I'm trash. Never mind. I'm trash. I just rolled over +2. There's tier 3 fizz. That's not bad. Let's slow down, shall we? Hey. Perfect. I mean, hang on. The other thing I'm questioning about. 7 to 8 quality of socketed gems. That's also pretty good. I don't remember entirely if there is... you can also craft on a suffix here if you wanted to upgrade it. I don't really think that's the most worthwhile thing to do. Is there... I'm looking for like betrayal crafts here. Looking for betrayal crafts because I think there's a betrayal craft that could be very useful. That's the chaos over time multiplier I was talking about. That would be a very good craft in regards to the, what we're going for. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. You can get a level of gems. Now these are level of support gems, so they're not as useful, but it is still useful in regards to upping your damage for this sort of character. Now these will be very niche because they come from Syndicate Mastermind, which I'm not going to spoil, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows who it is by now. I haven't killed her myself, but you know, fuck that. Considering Betrayal's current iteration, but I've said enough on that. Anyways, we are going to, honestly, +2 like this is decent enough for me. I don't think you regal it raw here. I think you try and roll suffix and just see what you get. It doesn't really matter in regards to suffix. You're probably going to craft attack speed anyways if you hit everything else perfectly. See what we get. Stun duration. I really don't give a shit, but it's tier 1, so that's cool. Regal. And we get lightning damage, and I don't really care. Now, where we want to go about getting good damage here is, let's see, physical, fire, chaos. Well, bam. Chaos and chaos skill effect duration is very nice. Non-ailment chaos damage over time multiplier, big word as I said. Back when I was playing this type of character, I believe one of my moderators said this was actually a higher DPS result, which fucked with my head a little bit. So, you know, weigh that up kind of as you want to. You know, you craft that on and there you go. Now, obviously, you can slam and pray you get attack speed. And for my bow, I believe I chaosed until I hit +2, and then I had like +2 and attack speed, and then I just added on chaos damage, which is pretty decent. Now keep in mind, from this point, right, you could have, what was it? You could have just, what the fuck's it called? You could regal it raw on just +2, and then you could multi-mod the bow, and you're in business. Now keep in mind, multi-mod costs for like 3x, something like that. So you're pretty much committing to being stuck with +2, which is kind of fine. Getting +3 is rather rare, and it's just going to require you a lot of chaos. I will spam for one just for shits and giggles, right? But in regards to going about that sort of thing, you can regal it raw on just a +2, and then you multi-mod, you get chaos damage, you get chaos multiplier, you get attack speed, you get support gems, I believe, and that's pretty much guaranteed because those two are prefix, right? So long as you don't hit another prefix on the regal I think should add a suffix, roughly guaranteed. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, if that adds a suffix, then you're in business, because you have the 2 open prefixes for chaos and chaos multi, and you have the 1 suffix, or 2 suffixes, sorry, where you can get the attack speed, and you can get whatever else is really available here. +1 level of socketed projectile gems. Now we're in business, right? Multi-mod is stupid OP. That makes you a +3 bow with chaos, chaos multi, attack speed. And we're balling, right? Now, obviously, I can't show you that. I don't have multi-mod available, because otherwise I would have regaled raw, and then you could have just crafted on this extra stuff, because that is suffix, I think, right? Is it? God, this craft thing is way too fucking long. Okay, now it's prefix, but that works too. That works too. You can get +3, or you can get chaos. Either work. And in regards to this, yeah, suffixes are kind of shitty. I don't know if double damage really works with that, but there's the craft I was talking about before. Attack speed while a rare unique enemy is nearby. I think that's also usable while you have attack speed on the weapon. Not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure. And yeah, so you can aim for those sorts of things with multi-mod. Making a plus gems bow with multi-mod is very easy if you can manage to hit it. But, you know, good luck with that. And we're going to see if we can get +3 just for shits. +2 attack speed is also going to be a place I stop. But let's do the same thing I did before and relegate out 20C. And let's see what we can manage. 1 is trash. 2 is trash. 3 is also trash. 4 is nope. 5 is no bueno. 6, nothing. 7, nothing. 8 is nothing. Nothing. That's, never mind. I'm not counting correctly, apparently. That was +2. There we go. That's not bad. Chance to poison on hit can be useful in regards to Herald of Agony. This is really good for Herald of Agony. In regards to that, you don't need Chaos, actually. For Herald of Agony, Chaos doesn't matter. Chance to poison on hit is actually very, very useful. That also saves you potentially a link in whatever you're playing at the time. So, if you're playing, say, Herald of Agony, like I was saying, you don't need Chaos, so you can craft either +2 socketed gems, wherever the fuck I had that. I just saw it earlier. I literally just saw it. Quality. Am I just blind? I may just be blind and fucking retarded. Oh well. That's an option too. You can craft the extra +1 there. You can craft attack speed here. And that sort of thing. It's 1-1. All in all, not bad. Let's use my last 7 here. See if we can get anything else interesting. There's +1. +1's obviously not as good as +2. But, you know, it's alright. That's trash. That's trash. And that's trash as well. And well, no bueno in regards to everything else. But yeah, that's basically how you go about crafting a +1 or +2 bow. If you get very, very lucky, you'll hit +1, +2, and then you have an open prefix, and you'll be able to add on a bunch of stuff. Now, in regards to crafting these, if you really want to make something like this, I recommend looking online or on Reddit for guides on how people try and make +6s and whatnot. There's certain fossil combinations and things that can get you near guaranteed +5, +6. However, that needs very specific base and that sort of thing. And those videos or those online guides and whatnot will go into detail about how they create those types of things. This is just a basic rendition of how to create a simple +2 or, you know, +1 bow. And now we're going to go on to physical bow. Very, very simple. Roughly, you're aiming for the same thing as a two-handed axe, but I wanted to cover it anyways, just in case. It's kind of like me not really covering staves because, I mean, staves are cool and all, and with the new nodes, they're definitely powerful, but you're not going to beat 180 spell damage. But a lot of people still use, what is it? Crit physical bows, so I figured I would cover it as well. We're nearing the 40-minute mark, so I'm going to try and keep this one a little fast if I can. 20 quality bow, get higher fizz damage. Base is 30 to 50 crit, aim for higher, because we're better than that. 41, 46. 46 is okay. I have 57 of them, fuck it. 48, I'm staying there. That is 740% crit chance, base on the bow. Crit chance and crit multi, I believe, are both suffix. God roll bow is trifecta fizz, attack speed, double crit. Doubt we're gonna manage that, but who fucking knows. Since we're gonna be going about things the same way with the Volax, we're going to probably just alch and then spam and see what we end up with. Yeah, there's tier 1 crit multi. God fucking damn it. Feel kind of robbed now. That could have been so much better. Crit chance, tier 6 crit, or tier 6 fizz, sorry. Added fizz on there could be pretty decent, because then you have crit on the bow, which isn't that bad. +1 socketed gems. Wrong bow. Tier 1 chaos, tier 6 fizz, not really something I care about. +2 bow, that's a lot of stuff on this, jeez. As I said, +2 appears very, very often. There's tier 3 fizz with nothing really else. All in all, you could probably craft fizz on that and just call it good, honestly. There's a 284 bow. That's not bad. I mean, obviously we're going to go higher than that. But as a starting point, that is not horrendous. not horrendous. But you can aim for a little higher than that, of course. Nope. Nope. Tier 4 with a prefix. Double res is also potentially something useful for you, depending on scenario, obviously. Tier 3 hybrid is exceptional, because Tier 3 hybrid, the other prefix is taken, sadly. Projectile speed's not bad. With Tier 3 hybrid here, we can go about the same weapon craft. Bam. That's rolled low, but roughly about the same damage. Decent starting point as well. And let's keep rolling through. Tier 3 Fizz, not bad. Tier 3 Fizz with crit multi though, but it is 3 prefix, so I'd write that off. Fizz, crit, low, very low Fizz roll, don't really care. Tier 5 Fizz, lightning, oh, double Fizz, that's not bad, that's not bad. You could suffix attack speed that. The second Fizz roll was both kind of shitty though. So, all in all, I'd probably reroll that. +1 gems, crit multi, here we go. Now we're talking. We got a +1 with Fizz, crit multi, bleed. That is exceptional. The bleed is kind of iffy, obviously, but, oh, I thought that was hybrid. Damn. Well, in regards to, what was I going to say? Oh, no, right, I can craft, added. There we go. Now, the reason I say that's rather decent is, +1 will basically act like, hybrid. It will add roughly the same damage in regards to leveling up the skill, because a lot of bow skills scale heavily off of gem level, so something like that, all in all, isn't bad. It makes up for the hybrid roll. Now, of course, you can roll higher than that, you can roll better than that, and try and get better attack speed. It's much akin to rolling like Volax, right? It's pretty much doing the same thing. In regards to realistically doing alt, transmute alt, it's basically the same. Look for high Fizz, crit. Of course, it's going to be rarer because you're rolling through less mods. Alternatively, you can just very simply attempt. An essence is also pretty decent. So we have a rather decent two-handed physical essence, which gives us like T3 Fizz. Let's see what we hit with that. +2 bows with Tier 4 Fizz and 13 attack speed. If I'm feeling saucy, and I am, I'm going to try and get gimmicky with this. Alright, gentlemen, we're going to annul. Let's see. If I can annul the lightning damage, we're balling. I think annuls are like 60C right now, but fuck it. Bam. Wait, no. I got rid of projectile speed. Okay, not bad. Not bad. We got a second attempt. Fuck, I annulled it off the Fizz. Oh well. Well, that could have been better. But, fuck it, it was worth a try. I would have tried to annul the lightning off, and then craft on Fizz, or annul the lightning off, and then multi-mod. Because you would have had Fizz, actually, what you could do, hang on, fuck it. My annuls are trash today, never mind. If I hit lightning there, that would have been a multi-mod as well, because attack speed, +2. Basically what you wanted multi-mod for this, but still. Ah well, no dice there. Do I have any other essences that could be of use here? I mean, I have a lot of fossils, but yeah, hang on, let me check. Fizz. I can't fucking type. H-Y-S. Magic. I don't think I have anything else in regards to high Fizz damage. That's a no bueno, but you can see the kind of basics to go about doing that sort of thing. We're going to leave these kind of as is. This bow didn't really roll all that well. And I'm going to try and do a little bit of fossil stuff at the end here. In regards to making, say, a high physical two-handed weapon, I would go about the same thing I'm going to try to do now. It kind of depends. There's a lot of gimmicky stuff with fossils that you can do to limit, like, mod pools and such. There is a website. I don't know if I have it. Holy fuck, that's bright as shit. I don't know if I have it available. But there's a website that will cross off things in regards to fossils, so you can like cross off certain crafts and whatnot. I don't believe I have that available just right now. I think it's like PoE DB or some shit like that. I don't remember. But we're gonna look for Fizz 1 and see what we've got. We have more physical, no chaos. That's pretty good for crafting purposes. More lightning, no physical. That's a no bueno for us. More fire. More cold, no fire. More lightning, no physical. More lightning, no physical. Okay. So, essentially, you can get very stupid items with singular fossils. I am not kidding. In regards to doing these sorts of things, you see all these crazy 3-socket resonators. My best items have genuinely come out of 1-socket crafts. Because you're not targeting anything else. You're not doing any stupid shenanigans. You're not really fucking around. And you're just putting in a physical fossil. So that's what I'm going to do here. And we're just going to see what this ends up as. This is just a singular, more physical in here. 164 fizz. Tier 2 fizz, open prefix, crit strike. Now we're cooking. See what I mean? See what I mean how stupid fossils are? Craft that. There's a 375 bow. Welcome to how to fossil items very effectively. Singular fossils will get you probably the most value humanly possible. There are gimmicks, as I said before, with like 2 fossil, 3 fossil, etc., where you get stupid high numbers and amounts and whatnot. But genuinely, I've gotten really stupid items in just 1 fossil. There was one more fire fossil I put on a necklace that got me a mirror tier necklace like 2 leagues ago when I was playing Blade Vortex. It had Fizz's extra fire, Fizz's extra something else, I don't fucking remember. Spell damage and fire damage and cast speed. It was like perfect for Blade Vortex. It was wildly fucking stupid. I loved it. But yeah, that was from like a singular fire fossil. I've had belts and whatnot from singular life fossils come out with way too much life, and chest pieces with life come out with like as you saw in the last video, life, percent life, and life on kill. You can get some fucking stupid shenanigans, especially if you fossil elder or shaper items. I fossiled an elder chest piece with a life fossil, and it gave me elder percent life on kill, massive plus life, and then some extra life regen suffix stuff. It was stupid. It was really stupid. Fossils are like the best option. So making a character built around that, like an RF character or something, and they just don't turn RF on and run darkness, can get you very, very stupidly effective stuff. And this is just an extremely simple showcase. 1 fossil, right? That 1 fossil's maybe 5 to 10C. And that's 164 crafted on, 4C craft, and that has crit. Yeah, you're pretty much in the money. That's all you need. That's almost the same damage as my fucking axe here. So, and this axe was manually crafted. Imagine if I fossil this axe. Imagine. I want to give this away to someone on stream though. But that is going to round out this episode of weapons crafting. Of course, these series and these episodes take a fucking while, so I hope you enjoyed the 50 minutes of a white boy talking to you about Path of Exile, because I enjoyed doing it. That is going to be all from me, however, today. If you wouldn't mind liking the video, it would be highly appreciated, and clicking that big red button if you haven't done that before. There are avenues to support your boy in the comments section if you wouldn't mind, or alternatively, just show up to the Twitch stream. That makes me just as happy. That's going to be all from me, and I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something. Look forward to more of these coming in the near future. I believe the next one's probably going to be on jewels, or not jewels, necklaces, most likely. Jewelry is what I was aiming to say. So, like, necklaces, belts, and whatnot. I don't know if I want to split belts up separately and do, like, necklace and rings together, or if I want to do rings separately. There's a lot of different things to cover in regards to rings. Even with gloves, there's a bunch of stuff. If there's anything specific you want to see, let me know. I may do a separate portion on shields as well, but not many builds use shields nowadays. Unless you're very niche or a complete fucking hipster. But yeah, that's going to be all from me. And as always, take care, lads.